just spend money without really thinking about it.
We are living paycheck to paycheck barely.
We didn't plan on a layoff.
We're not going to have enough money to pay our bills.
I wasn't able to afford food for my daughter.
What if we turned to our neighbors for solutions? What if one group of people took on a daring experiment to change the course of their financial future together, to get out of debt and to regain control of their money?
It'll be a hard financial ride.
What a show this is. It premieres this Sunday. You are going to want to tune in and watch how a group of neighbors transform their net worth by $1 million. It's incredible. $1 Million Neighborhood. We are joined by Bruce Sellery, financial expert and host of the show. How are you, man?
Thank you for the invitation. I'm good. I want to see the show looking at that trailer.
It's good,
Put it on right now.
Tell us about the concept and the neighborhood that you guys literally transform.
Aldergrove, British Columbia. Vancouverites know exactly where that is. So it's out in the valley. It's about 45 minutes to an hour from here. And we chose 100 families to participate in a 10-week challenge. The focus of everything that we did with them was to increase their collective net worth by $1 million.
And you are literally talking about looking for that change around your house. And it is incredible what loose change is to these people.
Loose change, hidden money in tax returns that either people filed incorrectly or many people never filed them before.
Well, Mike and I have seen the first episode, and I have to say that the thing, there's so many great things about it, but learning the financial tips is a great thing. And let's touch on that with the tax returns, because these people literally were getting, some of them, over $10,000 back.
And in some cases, that was because of an error. And in some cases, people hadn't filed.
Yeah, they
And you know, we think, oh, well, who wouldn't file? Lots of people don't file, and they qualify for a big refund.
And Revenue Canada is not going to call you if they owe you money.
That's right. They're going to be happily putting that towards roads, hospitals, and our deficit as a country instead.
Well, and this brings up one of those things that's fascinating to watch, not only in the show, but to think about in your own relationship. How close is that relationship of fear and money? How intertwined are those two things?
Inextricably linked. They are one thing. For many people, not everybody, but many people, the fear is so significant that people won't talk about even the most basic things. And that's one of the things we wanted to do with the show, was crack open this conversation and say, listen, you can talk to your neighbors, your siblings, your friends about some simple things. We're not talking about telling your hairdresser how much you make at work. We're talking about, hey, what are some things that you're interested in having in the next 5 years? And you and I, we've just met, but you and I could have a perfectly appropriate discussion about that in a way that would illuminate financial goals that you have, because most of our life goals have a $sign attached.
And you know, you take all these families together, and there's someone in the group that everyone can really relate to, which is a great thing about the show, that you can see yourself in these people.
Which is a big difference for most of the financial shows that we have out there. I'm not sure if you know the word Schadenfreude, right?
It's my favorite word.
Pleasure in other people's pain. This isn't a show about that, because these are relatable stories. You watch, you go, that's me. That's me. That's my sister. That's my mother. So it's not a disaster, a series of disaster cases. These are real people dealing with real issues, and our job, myself and Dr. Samra, is to help them.
Yeah, and it's a really hard thing to talk about. And these people are extremely brave, because for you and Dr. Samra, they open up their financial life and they lay it on a table, not just for you guys, but also for their neighbors.
They really do. They lobbied for this show to come here. When Force 4 Entertainment was looking for communities to develop this show in, Aldergrove stepped up. They attended town halls. They lobbied for it. They had a Facebook page because they wanted to bring it here. They felt like there was something that we could contribute to their community, and I hope we did that.
And what was it like for you to see these people, the realization that they could make it through some of them are in a real financial crises. What was it like for you to take them out of that?
It was a magical experience. It really was. And I hope that the TV show itself illuminates some of that magic, because these are people who really put their lives on the line. And some of the stories, I mean, there are children that are unwell, people who have lost jobs. There are all those sorts of real, visceral stories that people are dealing with. And to be with them on that journey was magical, and it was a privilege. It really was a privilege.
Well, and to teach people about their finances is one thing, but you know, I'm assuming this was part of the goal, but as a subtext to the whole show, you know, that idea of community, that idea of being open to receiving from your neighbors and to giving to your neighbors is something that we seem to be losing touch of, and very much to our detriment.
And we embrace community in so many areas of our life, like parenting. I just had a kid. Everybody shows up with casseroles and advice, solicited in other words, right?
What do you want?
That's right.
You can probably do without.
If you want to run a marathon, tell your friends and family, they'll be there at the finish line. And yet when it comes to personal finance, people don't talk about it. So we don't access the support community provides, the ideas community provides, and most importantly, the accountability that community provides.
And one of those amazing moments in the first episode was you don't realize that the person next door to you could be, you know, at the food bank, and giving someone a gift certificate to a grocery store can bring them to tears.
Yeah. Huge kinds of examples of generosity in this community. And what we also saw was real leadership. Some of the participants had never led anything in their lives, and they're like, this is the challenge. I'm going to be the chair of this thing. Because the other part of the challenge was, every single week, their challenge was to increase their net worth by $100,000 every week. If they did that,
you hear that number, Bruce, and you're just like, I mean, I saw it on the show, and I'm like, $100,000 per week.
How does that happen? But if they did it, they earned the right to award one family $10,000. But the great thing about it, you can't vote for yourself, and the key criteria is which individual or family made the biggest contribution to the community. So it is the antithesis to Survivor. No one was voted off the island. It was
nobody's backstabbing,
and it's not high school popularity contest, because the community's like, no, that person's posturing. This person sacrificed everything so that we could deliver on our challenge this week.
So all 10 weeks, there's the 10,000, and then at the end of it, there's something just very special. Because I knew the outlines of the show. I didn't know what you guys were doing to help these people and to encourage the community as well. Tell us what happens at the end.
Well, I can't tell you what happens at the end. I am bound by an ironclad confidentiality agreement. You got to watch the. I know. You
tell me what happens at last scene.
I'll give you a hint. It's called $1 Million Neighborhood. Maybe they make it. Maybe they don't. You have to tune in to find out. The Neighborhood has 10 weeks to do so. The families go through a ton of challenges. It is captivating television, and careful, you might learn something.
Yeah, and to all those families out in Aldergrove that participated, congratulations, and thank you for stepping up, because I think there's a lesson in this show for almost everybody that watches. So.
Oprah Winfrey Network, January 22nd is the debut, 8 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got a couple of
Sunday nights.
Sunday nights. Welcome back to Vancouver. You were in Calgary the other day, man. And
yeah, it was a little chillier. Just a hair.